and welcome to Do Whatever You Think Whatever You Do, episode 4. Last week, we talked about personal training with Gabe, the personal trainer. Today, my co-host is Stephanie Straker. She is a gym member. Stephanie, how you doing?
Hi, Daryl.
I'm good. So, Stephanie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Stephanie Straker. I am an early childhood education specialist. I work with child care programs on Long Island to help improve their quality. Education has been a passion of mine since before I was in college, and I've been doing that for the last 20 some odd years.
Oh, okay. So you knew what you wanted to do for a long
I
time.
knew what I wanted to do when I went into college.
What made you want to get specifically into this?
The story about me getting into early childhood education, I actually was a psychology major.
Okay.
And I had a child and family studies minor.
Okay.
And I had to do internship hours at the daycare center on campus. And the moment I walked into the daycare center and started working with the children, I realized that was what I should be doing.
Oh, okay.
And not solely focused on just psychology.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, how did you start getting into the gym? How did you become a member of the gym?
My fitness journey has been long, but I did a lot of working out at home and a lot of videos at home and things like that. And I wanted to be able to do more than what I felt like I could do at home.
Okay.
And I was nervous about going to the gym because I didn't feel like I knew enough, and I didn't want people looking at me.
Yeah.
And I went through a journey of belonging to a gym, not being consistent, working out in the middle of the night, so other people weren't there. There was less likely of people being there.
Okay.
And then the pandemic happened, so I had to stop going to the gym.
Okay.
And once things started reopening, I was nervous about going back to the gym.
Okay.
For many reasons. So
did you continue working out during the pandemic or no?
I did work out at home.
Not as consistent.
But not as consistent.
Okay.
And I wasn't
changes?
eating well.
Yeah, so there were changes.
There were changes. So I wasn't eating well. I was probably stressed like the rest of the world.
Yeah. And
not eating great. And I wasn't sticking to anything specific.
Okay.
And then I, after things started opening back up, I had two advantages. I had a really great therapist that helped me work on some other things.
Okay.
And then I found a personal trainer that was able to help me learn about more equipment, get me more comfortable in a gym-like setting, and was really encouraging for me to join a public gym and just go and be consistent and work out more. He gave me a plan, so having a plan was really helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long after the pandemic did you rejoin the gym?
It took me almost a year to join a public gym after things started opening back up.
Okay. And so what year was that? 2022 or?
That was, so I think, I joined a gym in 2022. Towards the beginning of 2021, I was working with my trainer. Okay. And I was working with him in a private gym. So it was just one-on-one.
Got it.
So that was also an advantage.
Okay. So when you joined the public gym, did you have a trainer there as well or no?
No. So I stayed working with my trainer in his private gym, and that went down to like once a week, and then I was doing other days at the public gym, which was much larger than I had belonged to before the pandemic. There were a lot more people and a lot more eyes, which made me very nervous.
And it must have been much bigger than the one-on-one sessions you had with the trainer because I'm sure it was his own studio. Mm-hmm. So he had something small with just the normal, not very many machines.
Right. Okay. So I had to join the gym was a big step because I knew that I was going to spend money on it. So I wanted to use it and not waste my money, which has happened to me before.
Yeah.
So that was how I joined that first gym after everything opened up.
Okay. So when you joined the gym after the pandemic, you didn't have a trainer.
I didn't have a trainer at the gym.
So then how was it kind of getting reacclimated to this public gym environment?
I was breathing a lot. I had to go through a lot of breathing. That's where my therapist came in. Actually, she and I were talking a lot about what was really holding me back and what was the challenge that I had.
What do you think was holding you back?
I wasn't really confident in a lot of things in my life. So that was one of them. I wasn't confident about my weight. I wasn't confident about, I still work on, I don't like making mistakes. I don't like making mistakes in front of other people.
Yeah.
And at the gym is a place where you will try something. You're going to have to fail at something. You have to try again.
At the gym is when you feel like a baby all over again. You got to learn how to crawl and walk and all of that.
Yes.
Like, seriously, if ever you are going to find yourself in a position where you feel like you are a fish out of the water, it's something like the gym.
Yes. Yeah. So that was, I had to really overcome that. And it was very, very hard in the beginning. But the more that I went, the less hard that it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what about the people there and stuff? How hard was it to, I guess, start talking with people at the gym? Because I think that this is definitely something that helps bring people there more. You know,
yes.
The fact that they even if it's not confirmed, but this like unspoken, oh, I got to be there because this person I know, these people are going to be there, you know.
Right.
You feel like they're dependent on you. Whether they're dependent on you or not, it's something that you set in your brain to help you go.
Right. Well, the gym that I joined about a year after everything opened up, there wasn't a lot of community there.
Okay.
I would see some of the same people. It would, smile and go about your business. That's kind of where I was then. I did... after about a little bit under a year at that other gym, I joined a new gym that I actually currently belong to. And that was, that's much more of a community-based type of situation for me. So the more that I went, the more people that I saw consistently. So the more consistent I was, the more consistently I saw people, the same people, which made it a lot easier. And then... start talking to people and saying good morning and having conversations and finding commonalities at the gym, but also through conversation outside of the gym as well. So
okay. In terms of group exercise classes, you take classes as well, right?
Yes, I take classes.
So did you, when you first rejoined the gym, did you start off working on the floor and then start taking classes? Did you find meeting people and getting more comfortable, did you feel that the classes played a part in this?
When I first started back, I was very much a workout by myself, so I wasn't taking classes for a long time. It took me a little while to get into classes. I think me being a little familiar with the instructor of the class was helpful for me, but now that just like going to the gym, the more that I stayed consistent and went to the class, I saw more consistent faces. And then I wasn't as apprehensive as I was in the beginning to do a class.
Okay. So what do you think taking classes has done for you versus working out on your own?
There's a different energy when everyone is doing the same thing. When everybody is working together to try to achieve this personal thing, but everyone's doing the same thing at the same time, for the most part, it's like an energy that pushes you. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I can't recreate that when I'm working out by myself. So definitely. Especially when I'm running on the treadmill, it feels so different when I'm in the class versus when I'm doing it myself.
Yeah.
I take a cycling class. And trying to cycle without everybody around me was not going to work.
Is that something that you would do on your own?
I've tried it at the gym, and it's it just feels so different than when I'm in the class with everybody else. So there's much more of a different energy, and I look forward to it. I look forward to those classes.
Do you feel that you tend to get a little bit more out of the class as opposed to when you do your own workouts?
I get something different out of classes than I do when I'm working out by myself.
Okay.
So when I'm working out in classes, it's probably a little bit more cardio focused, and I have a quiet competitive spirit. So I like to who's next to me, how can I keep up, and that's kind of the motivator when I'm in a class.
Okay.
And then when I'm working out by myself, it's much more of an internal motivation.
Okay. So besides, I know you mentioned just now that you take spin. Besides spin, what are some of the other Group X classes that you have taken and that you like?
I've taken a class it's half cardio, so there's half treadmill work, so half running on the treadmill, and then it's half strength training. So they break it up. It's called GTX.
Okay.
And
so you're sprinting part of the class on the treadmill, then you hop off the treadmill,
and do some strength training. Right, some strength training circuits, and we get back on the treadmill.
What types of strength training exercises are you doing?
It's a lot of free weight exercises.
So there's free weights in there as well.
There's free weights in there, yeah. Okay. So it's it depends on the day. So we'll do curls, we'll do shoulder presses, we'll do squats,
lunges.
We do lunges, we do burpees, we do so much various core work. We do a lot of
stuff to kind of keep the heart rate up.
Yes.
And then y'all jump back on the bike.
And then we jump back on the treadmill. Yep.
Oh, the treadmill. Sorry.
And then you can.
How long are you on the treadmill for?
Altogether, it's almost an even split, almost 30 minutes.
But so, what are the intervals of the treadmill?
That can change depending on the day. That varies as well.
Does that vary throughout the class, or is it like a consistent time?
It varies throughout the class.
Wow.
And the workout is on a screen. So we can see what the workout is going to be.
Okay,
you can see what's coming up.
Okay.
You're, depending on your instructor, they might throw a little spice and flavor in there.
Okay.
But you can tell what's coming up. You can tell what zone they want you in, and how what kind of how much effort you're going to exert for yourself.
Okay.
In different parts, but yeah.
And then the music, I'm sure it plays a huge part.
Yeah.
What is the picking an instructor? How important is the music to the picking this instructor?
It is. I'll say top 3.
Really?
Top 3. If I can't groove with your music, I can't take your class. And it makes it longer for me. It makes it harder for me. You're on the right track if you make me want to dance while I'm working out.
Yes.
If I don't feel I'll be tired. But if I can still find the energy to sing along and dance, we're good.
So another question: do you find that sometimes the instructors had music that you weren't familiar with, but you were still able to rock on with and get through the workout because it's synchronized with the workout, or
Yeah, cycling is good for that because everything that we do is to the beat of the music, right?
Yes,
it's to the beat of the music.
That you need to.
So even if it's not something that I might be drawn to, or I might go to first, you work through that, and you find the beat, and you go through the beat, and that's when, for me, the instructor's personality and their motivation comes out and becomes more important.
You're right. I mean, because I've actually seen classes. I've walked past the spin room, and I've heard rock music.
Yeah.
I've heard different types. I mean, and it's actually working for the class. I mean, I can hear them, getting it on. So obviously, all this music is encouraging. And as you said, if the instructor is into it, and they get you into it,
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So besides GTX and spin, any other classes?
Those are my 2 consistent classes.
Okay.
I have started getting into yoga a little bit more. So
you have?
Try to do yoga once a week. Okay. And that, you you never know what that will grow into. But that's a new journey. That's a new piece of my journey. But
have you started it yet?
I took a couple of classes over the last few weeks. And that is actually, yoga is very challenging for me. Mm-hmm. So it brings up old feelings of like, I'm going to make mistakes and I'm not going to know how to do this. And people are, not that they're watching me, but you can see me because I'm not invisible, you know? So it is challenging for me in that way, but also in making sure that I am being forgiving of myself and knowing that it's okay that I make mistakes and I keep trying and don't give up. So that's it's a good lesson. It's a good lesson.
I actually had a yoga instructor and cycling instructor on here a couple of episodes ago, and something that he said in the class was for yoga that, you know, even though all these people are there and they're trying to do things, if you don't feel it that day, if you want to just lay there and just meditate, you know, you can do that. And it's also dark. It's not completely light in there as well, right?
Yes. They set a mood. They set an ambiance. There's dimmer lights. The instructor's voice and like how they speak usually is much more calming.
Yes.
And the classes that I've been to, those instructors have really tried to infuse like the motivation of and those words of, you know, relax into it. If you're not feeling this today, this is the alternative of what you can do. It doesn't have to be this. A lot of like listen to your body, use your breath. So those things are great reminders for me. I like hearing that during class.
And then also, all of these classes, they are experiences as it is. But if, you know, the instructor is able to, you know, transform you into this whole world, you know, this is what makes it much more gratifying at the end of the class.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Even from myself, teaching and taking classes, I have realized that this is what you're doing. You are either being transformed as the member or as the instructor, you are actually transforming members to a whole nother world for that duration of the time of the class.
Yes. Yeah. And even after the class, I think all three of those classes, and 99% of the time, I'm left with a motivational quote, some type of something that they give me to help me move forward in my day. Yes. And to help me, you know, realize that I'm on a journey, that, you know, there's no ending. This is your journey. You're always growing. So I really like that too, that the instructors I've had have been able to kind of infuse that, and then I leave with a really good and positive feeling.
Yeah, that's great. So I was going to say, with the yoga, have you taken hot yoga or regular, or which type?
I prefer hot yoga.
Okay,
so
you prefer the
warm, right? I prefer a warm climate of yoga. But I've taken yoga that's not. I've taken yoga class after a hot yoga class, so it still feels really warm in the room.
So you've taken regular yoga after Bikram yoga,
and it's still really warm in the room. And then I've also
you must have been dying of thirst.
Well, if you sit near an open door,
true.
It makes it a little bit better. But I do prefer being in the heat and doing it hot.
Do you find that it takes a longer time for your body to loosen up in the regular room as opposed to the Bikram room?
Yeah, the little experience I have, I feel different when I'm doing yoga in a regularly heated room versus hot yoga. Okay. My body feels different.
So with your own workouts, how do you kind of orchestrate them? Like, do you have fitness goals? You on like a fitness journey? What's the goal? Or
well, for a long time, the goal was to make fitness like a lifestyle, and that's what I told my trainer when I started working with him. Because he asked me about my goals, and I said, everyone keeps talking about how it's a lifestyle, and I just kind of do it to get to the next trip, to the next thing. I want it to be something that it's not just because I'm going away. This is what I do every day.
Yes.
So, and it took me a little while to recognize, I think that I met that part of my goal. So, I'm trying to figure out what my next goals really are, fitness-wise. And I think yoga is actually being a part of that, because I was thinking about just my mobility and my how I can try to move my joints in my body in a different way than actually what I've been training my body to do. So trying to be a little bit more versatile with my body.
Nice.
So that's the goal.
I actually think that that is a smart answer to saying that making it a lifestyle. Because I think, well, goals definitely change.
Yes.
People's goals change
Yes.
all the time. This is how people grow.
Right.
You know? And I think the ultimate goal is to make fitness a lifestyle, something that you're doing daily, because this is going to help with the longevity.
Right.
Living longer, not only living longer, but being mobile, being able to move around and enjoy
Absolutely.
living. You know, there's
Absolutely.
one thing of being alive. There's another thing about actually living. You know.
Yeah.
And you know, fitness is definitely something that will help you be able to enjoy your life. You know, while you're alive.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I was thinking a lot about too when I was just thinking about, you know, when I started after the pandemic. What do I want to take away from from all that time that I was at home, all that time that I was sitting and eating and trying to work out but not being consistent, and I just wanted to be able to, you know, be 85 and still walk around and still be somewhat healthy, and you know, and I wanted to stop some family patterns that have been family patterns. I wanted to not have them continue with me. So I think that's a big part of my motivation. That is consistent.
What is the biggest change that you feel has happened with you pre-gym versus present time?
Well, one of the biggest changes is that I wake up a lot earlier than I used to.
Okay. Is this because you are getting, is this quality sleep? Are you waking up rested?
I wake up rested.
Okay.
I definitely get better sleep than I used to get. And even though, like, I would sleep through the night, but my quality of sleep is definitely much better. And I started waking up earlier because I was able to get my gym time in, but still get a lot of other things done.
Yes.
And
so you do the gym in the morning?
Yes, I do the gym
work.
In the morning.
Okay.
Right, well, before work, absolutely.
Yes.
And I was thinking about myself and how I went from I'm going to work out and get to the gym at 10 p.m. To how I'm trying to get to the gym at 6 a.m. and how that transition happened. And I just feel like it enhances my day so much more when I work out in the morning.
How does it feel? Yeah.
I do have more energy. I feel like I've accomplished a lot even before I've done, you know, before I've gotten to work. Yeah. Which, you know, sometimes with my job, there's always a constant flow of work. Okay. Right? So it's never like I'm finished and everything is done and I can close this and go.
Yeah.
So sometimes I need to remind myself, you've done a lot of things today. And one of those things is you've been at the gym for a little bit. You did that this morning and you did all these other things for work, even though it's not finished. Yeah. You've done a lot. So it makes me feel rather accomplished.
Okay. So what are some things that you would say to people that are thinking about joining the gym, but they are apprehensive because they feel embarrassed, or, you know, mainly that is the key word. Right. I mean, everything is going to revolve around the word embarrassed, you know, whether you're not feeling comfortable, whether, you know, you don't want no one to see you working out. It all has to revolve around this word embarrassment. So what words would you offer someone who needs to kind of take a step over to the other side?
I would say I'm really big on self-reflection. So I would say to really sit and think about what is it that's making you anxious about going to the gym, making you nervous about going to the gym. And then, and I also do a lot of self-talk. So reminding yourself that you are doing this to better your health and better your life, whatever your motivations are. If you stay consistent, even if you feel like people are looking at you, most people are cheering you on and are happy to see you. And if you're consistent, most of the time the response will be, wow, you're so consistent, this is great. And it's so even if people glance or they look, it's usually a positive thing that's going on in other people's heads. So keep telling yourself that and reminding yourself of that even when you feel really nervous.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting what you said, and I thought about it. It's true. The gym is definitely a community. Like you said, the people that are looking at you, that even people that you probably don't speak to at all, they still know that you're there. You know, it's like if you take the train to work and you take the same car, you take the same time, and I'm sure there's a handful of people that you see all the time. You come to a point where it becomes, natural for you to see those people.
Yes.
You'll notice if those people aren't there on a certain day or what have you. You'll probably even notice at the gym, what someone is working out on a certain day per week if they're doing it enough times, and you pay attention to the pattern.
Right.
So, like you said, it's definitely a community, and people are watching.
Yeah, I mean, even I didn't go Monday morning, and I needed rest. I needed a day, and a few people when I was there the next day were like, "Oh, I didn't see you. You're usually here. I didn't see you." And I was just like, "Yeah, I was." And people noticed, and there were a couple people that I didn't realize would notice, but they noticed, and so you do become a part of the fabric of the gym when you go and you're somewhat consistent in going. So
yes, definitely.
Feels good.
Yeah, today I actually went to the gym and I did not work out. Yeah, I actually played. I played pickleball. For 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Oh, see.
But that will be another episode. We will talk about pickleball and the joys and benefits of it. But as far as today, thank you for coming on the show, Stephanie.
Thank you for having me.
And that's it for today's show. Tune in next week and be sure to subscribe. Thank you. Have a great day.